Helldivers 2 has a decent variety of weapons. Some of them you have to unlock through the war bonds, and the rest of them you get at the start. My personal opinion, the SG-225 Breaker is the best weapon in the game, before they nerfed it. The second best would be the Liberator, and I just so happen to have a real one. And thankfully I get the STL files from the Galactic Armory Patreon page. And if you're looking for more Helldivers stuff, then I highly encourage you to check out the website. For my Helldivers cosplay, I wanted to 3D print the Liberator and use it as my main weapon, as well as a Peacekeeper, but this video is mainly about the Liberator. So printing, I have the Anycubic Cobra Max 2. It's a massive 3D printer with a big print bed that's great for printing out big things like this. Overall, great for this project. After a week of printing everything out and dealing with multiple headaches from the printer messing up, I got everything done. In total, I think it took around anywhere from 2 to 3 rolls of filament. I'm gonna round up to say 3. And after I printed everything out, I started the sanding process. And understand that this is a big prop. And my goal here is to have it look like a used weapon. And it doesn't have to look pretty because most of that stuff will be covered up. And what I'm talking about is the layer lines. To make this process faster and more efficient and to help your arms from falling off, I would highly suggest investing on using a mouse sender. Legit, it made it twice as fast to send this whole entire prop. So, the steps of sending. The steps that I took was starting with a 220 grit sandpaper. Wash the print and spray with primer and filler. Then we want to check for layer lines. Now, if it's like an obvious thing, you can totally see the layer lines, use some Bondo. And if it looks great, move on to using 320 grit sandpaper. And then do a wet sand of 420 grit sandpaper. After the wet sand, give it a really good wash. Get all that dust off and out of the crevice of the model. And then we give it a coat of black and gray primer. This is where it really starts to come together. If you print out all the pieces correct, you should be able to put it all together without glue. Just be careful where you hold it because it might snap and break. So now you have it all primed, it's time to start the detailed process of this build. You can do this any way that you want, but the way I did it is I painted the skull white and the lines next to it was all yellow, including the letters. Like I said, I was happy with stopping right there, but feel free to keep it going, add more details to it. After adding all the details, let's go ahead and put it all together. But which glue do we use? I used up to 3 different glues. A hot glue gun, Gorilla Super Glue, and the main one I used was a stuff called Acrylic 16. And what it does, it will bind 2 different layers of filament together to make one piece. So, glue it all up and give it about 24 hours to bind and stick together. Do not touch it. Next day, grab it and let's start adding some effects and dirt. There are a bunch of ways to add effects and dirt to a prop, but I like to do it the simple way, by biting the paint washes and just painting it on there and using paper towel to wipe it away. And this is how I did it. The first layer was dirt black, followed by a light brown and a dark brown. I touched everything with the stuff on the gun, but being mindful of how much I use. I didn't want to use too much on this prop and run out of the material for all the other stuff on my cosplay, so be very careful with how much you use if you take this route. So we printed, sanded, primed, glued, and added the dirt effects to this prop. Now let's give it a couple layers of clear coat to really add that shine to it. After all of that, here are the results. I think from start to finish, it took me maybe 6 hours to make, a week if you include the print time, and this prop looked amazing with my Helldivers 2 cosplay. And I plan on making a full breakdown of my Helldivers 2 cosplay in the future, so be sure to subscribe to see that video. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'll do my best to reply back in a timely manner. I'm the Cosplay Commander. Thanks for watching.